Well, this ridiculous fixture schedule is certainly testing us to our limits, and we're basically having to pick one game a week at the minute to throw. Despite that, we've got ourselves just about back in the mix for the top four, and today we've got a chance to reach a second successive Champions League final to give us a chance of winning it for the first time and potentially saving our season. We also face the newly crowned champions Liverpool in what is a dress rehearsal for the upcoming FA Cup final in a couple of days' time. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 144 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. Today we face Mikel Arteta's AC Milan in a second leg of the Champions League semi-final. It's tight after a tough fixture 7 days ago, but you can see we've played two games since then. The scheduling is really causing us trouble. We've tried to get in the best possible shape for this one. We'll look at that in a moment, but we'll also face Liverpool later, who have stolen our crown in the Premier League. And to be fair, the tally they've amassed this season is higher than all bar one of our four title victories, so they definitely deserve to win it. The rest of the table is very tightly bunched and very poor, to be honest. No one averaging 2 points a game. We want to try and beat that by winning our next few. Hopefully, we can sneak into that top 4 or 5, get Champions League football next year. Maybe we can win the big one to save our season, because it's been a disappointing campaign. If you're looking forward to it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. But for now, let's go and have a look at the schedule. What has been a very tense period since you were last here. We've basically gambled when it comes to the Premier League ones. We've had 2 weeks where there's four fixtures. One of them, we throwed a game against Manchester United. You can see from the goal scorer, we weren't playing the first team. And we've also got to do the same on the last week of the season with Manchester City. Now, I'm trying to focus rather than on who are the opposition that we're going to need our strongest team for. I'm just trying to think about how can we get our strongest possible team out in the most possible games and give us the chance of winning as many as we can. So what I've sort of done is try to get the first team in for 3 games out of 14 days, and then the backup team playing 1 to 2 depending on the schedule. So that means since you were last here, for those wins against United and Spurs, we played our first team again against Wolves and got a win by 2 goals to 1. It was tight and tense. We had to give them a bit of a rocket at half time, but Carr and Herbert turned it around second half, the set piece delivering yet again. The reserves played relegated West Brom and did a great job. 2 own goals helped us out massively. 2 red cards helped us out even more. Teddy Ivanov the only one to actually score for us, but it was a very comfortable day. Then away at AC Milan, the late show arrived. We were 1-0 down. We were being outplayed for about 70 minutes. But we clung on in there, and that's something I do have to give the boys. We then brought on the substitutes, Ivanov, Agyeman, Elmi, all brilliant. Joe Wills continued his scoring run as well. Elmi and Wills won a piece to make it a 2-1 victory on the night and put us in contention for a Champions League final. And at home to United, just 2 days later, we had to throw the game. First team played on Tuesday and Saturday. The reserves had to play on Thursday. Mikey Magwood came off the bench. He got himself a goal, which was lovely for him. He scored in both of the last 2 seasons now. He's improving and he's due to sign a new deal in the next few days. In truth, though, we really faltered late on, and even with the backup team in, we did struggle with fitness towards the end. You can see the likes of Gulsjord started the match. Mitchell Vandenberg, forgotten man we got on a free last summer, who's in the under-21s before this week. He came in and played as well. So it wasn't a strong team, but it worked to an extent because we then played Fulham on Saturday and won really comfortably. That means we've picked up 9 points out of 12 in the Premier League, which I'm very happy with. Wills, Adamson, Ivanov and Roy Curley popping up with one off the bench. And we then get a merciful break of 4 days before this AC Milan game tonight. Then it's Liverpool in 3 days. Then it's Norwich City, Brighton. I'm basically going to go in rotation here. So it will be first team tonight. It will be largely rotated against Liverpool. It will be first team Norwich, reserves Man City, and then first team Brighton, Liverpool, and hopefully Champions League final the week after. Let's go and get through to the fixtures and see how we're going. The dynamics are excellent in the club. Things are starting to look up. Who has got through to the final alongside, actually? It's Atletico Madrid. Do you know what? We've beaten them before at home. I'd fancy that. I'd really fancy us against them in the final. This could be the opportunity. Can we get through? We've got a few players to close down. There are a few first team stars who are not quite fit. I'm not quite sure what to do with the 11. We've got to get the team pick because this is what we were playing at the weekend. So let me make some changes, run through my plans, and then we'll be back in a minute to talk through the 11. Right then, big game, big decisions. We rested 2 or 3 in midweek, or at the weekend, sorry, where we have 3 options in position. So like where we've got 5 centre mids and 4 centre halves. We bought in Hansen for Rakoski. We bought Torres out for Muscat, ones who didn't even play for the backup team. But otherwise, we're sticking fairly strong. We're sticking to what we know. Because Quetta is without doubt the first choice now. He's a 4-star goalkeeper. He's improving massively. Bettini has actually dropped to 3rd choice and he'll be sold in the summer. We got him for free last year. Played most of the season. But I feel like he's been part of the downfall defensively. So he's going to be sold on. And we'll just hope we can make a profit. If we can get 30, 40, 50 million for someone we got free last summer, it would be great business. The rest of the team, though, picks itself. It is Carlos and Memic, the fullbacks, with Herbert and Rakoski in the middle. Robertson and Adamson, the wingers. Bernberg is joined by Torres in central midfield. Probably the best little run Bernberg's had in a long time. I'm sure he'll either get injured or have a stinker now. And then Joe Wills is up front in the form of his life. No one really alongside in brilliant form at the moment. Elmi's going to stay on the bench. Teddy Ivanov's popping up with the odd goal, but mainly off the left-hand side. So I've gone for Ashley Carr with Nana Fair out injured, and I'm hoping he'll deliver on the big stage. He's done it before in the Champions League for us. Tonight, we just need a draw. I can't bank on a clean sheet, so we've probably got a score. Well, it's not just a big game against our regular head coach cover star Mikel Arteta. It's also a reunion with one of our former centre-halves, one of our former free agents who went on for a big profit. That man was Drew O'Day. He is starting and he is front and centre of the AC Milan defence. Milos Kerkez, an original, still on the bench, but there's not many others where that comes from. So let's go and get into the first half. Carry on the last performance. We're doing well in the circumstances. This is fixture congestion like we had in Northern Ireland, but the beauty there in FM23 is half the sides we were playing were semi-pro domestically. Not got that luxury here. As we try and get a free kick into the box. Is that a penalty? That looks incredibly harsh from the referee. I'm not going to complain if they give it. We were in possession though, so I'd like to hope they've stopped it for a reason. Penalty awarded. It could be the dream start. Ryan Adamson, the left footer, steps up. Doesn't score many. Has inconsistent form. And doesn't score the penalty. Why was he taking it as well? And what's that with the highlights? Just sort of cut away and then pop back on the opposite wing. Corner kick. Are we going to regret the missed penalty? And Joe Wills on corner duty. Look for Lewis Herbert to save the day as always. Up he goes. Off the goalkeeper and wide. We're peppering the AC Milan goal early, but you just feel if we don't score, we'll regret it. Let's hope we can find a breakthrough soon. Adamson again with a set piece. Up to the back post. Wills and Herbert going for it. But the goalkeeper's there first. And a frustrating 5 minutes. Adamson missing a penalty. He is the best taker on the pitch, to be fair. But it didn't help us tonight. We're 13 minutes in. We're dominating the game. And we're in possession again with Peter Bernberg. Looking down the left to Carlos, who's going to go on a little run. Tries to chip it over the top. It's not the best of balls. But Wills manages to nick it back. We're pressing really high. We look fresh for resting people. As Robertson gets down the right into the box for Ashley Carr. Oh, he's having one of those nights. Everything's going straight at the goalkeeper. Not tonight, Ashley. Adamson's going to have the corner. To the back post again. Herbert's up. Lewis Herbert. I love this guy so much. What a player. What a captain. Why on earth did Arsenal let us have him for free all those years ago? Honestly, why would you release this kid? 29 years of age now. This team is coming towards the end. We're going to have to really transition it in a couple of years if we haven't won everything. But what a player. Signed for free in 2032. Liverpool, sorry, who let him go, not Arsenal. Got my teams in red mixed up. But since then, he's been an ever-present. And this is turning into one of his best goal-scoring seasons. Albeit, in the league, he's not been particularly great. But from the cup competitions, that's his 6th in the Champions League. That is some effort from the big centre-half. Leading the team to glory, we are on course for the Champions League final. Liverpool winning yet again in the Premier League. They're absolutely flying. But then hopefully they'll be resting players at the weekend too. 10 to the break. It's not been a vintage performance. We're doing enough and we look pretty comfortable. Well, half-time, we have the lead against Milan. It's been a very, very comfortable night. But the job isn't done yet, and that's what I need to keep telling these lads. We've had a few nights in the Champions League where we've just allowed teams back into it. That Juve game in the last 16, a perfect example. we want to be quite careful. We also want to be careful with Joe Wills because he is the informed striker and it says tight thigh. We can get him off straight away. Hopefully we can stop the injury being worse than 3 or 4 days. We can rest him at the weekend anyway and then get him back for the run-in. I might at the same time as that sub just take off Adamson, who's not really recovered from missing a penalty. And that'll be Vasquez and Elmi on the left-hand side and up front. Now we're gone. I mean, we're not offering a lot in this game, but we don't have to. I can play the rest of the team for most of the minutes because we don't need to rest anyone here. They're not going to play at the weekend. So with 20 to go, we'll just freshen it up as we would normally. Memic off for Aguiman. Ashley Carr again. Just doesn't deliver in the big game. Teddy Ivanov is on. And then I'll take off Peter Bernberg for Kivrakidis because he's just as strong in that position. 20 minutes to go. Milan have offered nothing. And if it stays that way, we could keep another clean sheet, which we've got to celebrate every time this season. And more importantly, we could be going into the Champions League final. 2nd year in a row after never being past the quarters before. And a chance to win it for the first time. We've got to salvage something from this season. And the Champions League might be the one. Yet again, despite our disappointment in the league this season, for the 2nd year in succession, we are going to have played in every possible fixture. We're in a Champions League final. We've been in the FA Cup final and we've been in the Carabao Cup final. The problem is we haven't won a cup final for over 2 years and we need to change that this time. 1-0 to Southend, a brilliant effort. We're into the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid and we've got a big finish to the season in the next episode. That's not all we've got to worry about though, because we've got a dress rehearsal for that FA Cup final against Liverpool and we're in a big battle to get into the top 4. So we'll be back in a moment for that one once we see that Joe Wills is only out a couple of days. More money into the club, a Champions League final to come. The next episode is going to be a tasty one. Let's have the warm-up against Liverpool first. How is your luck? We are destined not to win these remaining trophies. The day after we come back, Joe Wills, we rested him, we took him off early. Then inexplicably in training on Friday, he's been on the end of a robust challenge. Now, I want to know who made that robust challenge because whoever it is should be getting fined a whole year's wages. Joe Wills has picked up a hip injury, 2 to 3 months out, and it's going to be a recurring one as well. That's an absolute disaster. He's been a superstar. And at 29, we've just lost our only informed striker. This is a big problem. We've got 2 big cup finals coming up. And I don't know what we're going to do for them now because none of the strikers are in form. Well, as our form striker becomes injured for the rest of the summer, we've now got our second best on the way back from injury. I'm not sure if he's going to play today. We need to get him in top condition for the 2 finals. Let's see how the fixtures fall because we are in 6th place. We are playing Liverpool. Not sure this would be a 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff in truth, but Chelsea are travelling to United later. Who else is in the mix? Villa v Newcastle. Don't know who I'd want to win that, to be honest. Maybe a draw suits us. Although Villa, to be fair, 2 more games played, 4 points behind. They should be able to win, shouldn't they? That wouldn't bother us. Let's get through the tactical meeting. Focus on our own job for now. They look like they've gone fairly strong. And for players that will probably be quite tired, we're going to do the opposite of that. We need to protect as much of this team as possible. Not sure what to do up front because Ashley Carr's out of form. I'm going to go and make a rotated 11. We'll be back in a minute to run through it again. Well, due to the Joe Wills injury, I have had to change my initial plan slightly because I'm now going to work towards a first choice front 2 of Elmi and Fair for the 2 cup finals. So that means they can't be starting today because I'll need them on Tuesday and Saturday to build fitness. We've also dropped out all of the first 11. We've kept a few with the medium match loads on the bench, so the likes of Rakoski, Torres and Elmi. But otherwise, lots of players just sitting this one out. The goalkeeper, probably 7 or 8 first teamers. Mikey Magwood doesn't make the bench because we're trying to build Fair's fitness and we needed balance with the last sub, which is why we've gone for Gouljord as a sort of utility wide man. That means our 11 in full is Logan McNaughton in goal, who's now homegrown at the club. Aguiman and Andre the fullbacks with Vite, who started the season on loan at Liverpool alongside Hansen as centre-half. Yocolano and Vasquez wide with Kivrakidis and Marciano in the middle. Then up front, it's the out-of-form Ashley Carr. I feel like I say that pretty often now. And Teddy Ivanov, who has been the hero a lot in recent years. I could do with him coming to the fore again. Let's go and get through to this. Liverpool already champions, but we've got plenty to play for if we want Champions League football next year. Well, 4 changes made for Liverpool, so they've rotated a little bit from the midweek adventures. They had that thriller against Brentford where they'd already wrapped up the title. They're Emery, the only original player in their team today, but we know some of these stars already. Marconi has scored goals galore against us in the past, as has Nick Smith, and the defence is pretty solid for them. They play most years at the moment. Jagadix is maybe the one who's on the bench, and Ben Doak, another original, is there too. Let's go and tell that the pressure is all on them. I'm not quite sure how it is. They've already won the league. I'm not sure what pressure they're facing. But if it helps us play a little better, we'll say it. Liverpool in perfect form. Bar the United game, we are as well. But it's got to be said, with this fixture congestion, we can't blame the lads for being inconsistent. Earlier in the year, yes, we missed some opportunities. But now we're just having to prioritise. And this game is not a priority for us. As Buckley gets it on the left to Aslan. Be a good chance to see the team that did steal our crown and how good they are, though. As Andre is forced to hack that one clear. Vasquez had lost it on the edge of his own box. Marciano winning it back. McNaughton going for the big kick downfield, but this is already desperate defending. We're backs against the wall. We're just hoofing it clear to no one. Vite does really well defending his box there. Vasquez can work away. Beats his man. He's got a chance to run. Marginson catches him down the wing there. That's a bit of a concern. Supposed to be relatively quick and tricky, Vasquez, but caught up pretty easily. As Marconi down the left, we know how good he is. In towards Smith and Zaire Emery. No one followed the midfield runner in. Pretty poor from Kivrakidis that, who started as a centre-half. With a quarter of the game gone, it remains 0-0. But we are very much living dangerously. Well, to be honest, despite all my talk and the early dominance from Liverpool, they've only just mustered their first shot on target on the cusp of half-time. Okay, they've hit the post before, they've had a couple of good positions. But we've not offered a lot either. Overall, 0-0 would be a pretty good result in this game, given the team we've got out, given the congestion, and given our other priorities. The worry is then, we've got 2 games in a week before the FA Cup final. Liverpool, I'm sure, won't. And then how do you balance out that? But they are looking better in the second half. We've offered absolutely nothing. But when we get to the final 25 minutes, it will be substitutes galore. We're going to go for both of the front 2. So Elmi and Nana Fair. Fair to build fitness. Elmi because he didn't start the last game. We expected him to be in this team until the Joe Wills injury. Gouljord is going to come on the left-hand side. Marciano will be replaced by Muscat. And in an ideal world, the final sub would probably be Ukulano off, but I don't think I have a natural sub for him. Roy Curley is the only other one I'd really want to bring on. I mean, I could juggle things around a bit. I don't know if Gouljord could play off the right. He can't. I could move Fair wide. I could do something on that front. So should we go Gouljord out here? Or in fact, let me think this through. Roy Curley is going to come on for Ukulano and we'll make it work. So Curley is going to go left back. Andre's going to go left midfield. Gouljord is going to go up front instead of Fair. Fair will go there on the right. And Gouljord, he can do this role pretty well as an advanced forward. He's not the most quick player in the world, but he's got incredible finishing. He's good in the air considering he's 5'4". And he pops up in positions. He's got the vision too. I think he might be a good player to have up there. So it's not ideal, but this is the situation we're in. We saw it in the United game too. We've just got to make it work. And ironically, it would have been handy to have Magwood on the bench now. As Curley gets the ball back to Vite. Got to make a decision on Curley as well. I think he's out of contract this summer, but he's proved to be such a useful squad player again. Unless I can find a better homegrown in the nation replacement, I probably will just keep him as that sort of 24th, 25th man in the squad. As Muscat works down the right to Fair. We're looking promising on the counter here. In towards Gouljord and Liban Elmi. And there is no better man to get in form than him, with Joe Wills out for the foreseeable. Elmi is going to be starting as the target forward in both the cup finals and in the last league game of the season. And if we can get him scoring goals, we have got half a chance. We go 1-0 up completely against the run at Liverpool. And we're straight at the other end defending. But our only shot on target has gone in. And this could be a proper smash and grab. This could be the old school Southend. I say that, there's still 15 to go. And we've not got the strongest defence on the pitch at the moment. Brook goes for the shot just wide. Liverpool looking a bit erratic. Maybe they're on the beach already. Hopefully they are for the FA Cup final too. Would be a really nice thing mentally as well if we could get one over on them. As Sato hits one off the woodwork. I mean, they're just absolutely peppering our goal, aren't they? They're battering us, but they haven't found the goal. Muscat has nicked it in midfield though. And if we can nick a second on the break, I might start to feel confident. That's not the best ball from Andre, though. Schmidt puts it back to his goalkeeper under pressure. They've managed to work out as Ben Doak is on. And he's flying down the left-hand side here. We're not catching him in a hurry. Inside to Sato. Now Brook. Good challenge from Aguiman. That's brilliant defending. Fair gets it wide to Andre on the left. And now we can break again. Andre in the centre circle. Big switch towards Gouljord. 5'4" is just a little too short in that scenario, isn't it? As Aguiman goes wide to Fair again. Just knocks it past the fullback. Brilliant run. Chance to cross to Muscat. It's 2-0. Smash and grab Southend United. What a break from Fair down the right again. He looks fresh and sharp. Elmi scored as well. Those two looking promising ahead of the cup finals. That's exactly what we need. Just no injuries now. As Koreski gets down the right. Can we keep the clean sheet? I doubt it. Zaire-Emery into Brook. There it goes, right on cue. I mean, this is the first time in about 5 years we can be 2-0 up with Southend with 10 minutes to go and not feel confident at all. We're under massive pressure. We're backs against the wall. And McNaughton's ignoring the instruction to play out. As Kivrakidis goes right to Nana Fair. Might have looked down the line, but just goes inside and we keep it. Muscat doing well here to Kivrakidis. Wide to the right-hand side to Fair and Gouljord. Clever first touch. The second's not great, but he nicks it off the defender and another. How's he come out of that with the ball? Gouljord's got Elmi in the middle. Oh, I don't know what he was doing. He seemed to be caught in two minds between cross and shot, and both of them look relatively simple. He didn't commit to either, and it's cost us. Now, will that prevent us getting a victory? Because we're seeing this whole game, it's chaos. Andre just runs into a blind alley. And Wheater brings the ball away. Zaire-Emery gives it away to Muscat, who then gives it straight back to them. Sato in on the edge of the box. Deflected shot is brilliantly held by McNaughton. Will someone take a breather and put their foot on the ball here? We're into the 90-minute mark. There's 5 added on. And I think we're going to have to go for the time wasting. We're going to put the fullbacks on defend. There's no need to commit here. And then we'll basically just leave Fair and the front two to go run forward. Muscat will switch duties. He'll go in as I'm going to put him as a deep liar as well. Andre will be a winger, but I might push him across. Maybe go as a sort of wide playmaker on support. Just try and keep the ball with players who are good in possession. We're not going to maybe run at the defence, are we? We're going to time waste all the time. We're going to play a little less wide. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to play for set pieces. We're going to slow the pace down. We'll still counter because I want to have a bit of a threat. We're going to drop the line of engagement too. Just try and see this out. It's been a really decent, gutsy performance by a team that's been second best. I'm not denying that. But they've fought hard. They've given everything. And a lot of them are playing out of position. And they're still trying to do the right thing here. As Koreski gives the ball away, Hansen can clear it, but doesn't make a good job of that. It's just really erratic, the performance. You can tell this 11, well, this 11 that's out right now, probably never played together before. Zaire-Emery's shot is blocked by Vite, who's had a good game against his former club. And Nana Fair, he's just storming the pitch. Down the right-hand side he goes, beats his man, chance to cross, wins the throw. Gets us up the pitch 60 yards. That is sublime. And with 5 minutes of stoppage time gone, it is Liverpool 1, Southend United 2. That is a gutsy win. And it might just get us in the top 4 because the first team will play 2 of the last 3 games. Fair and Elmi look a bit of a threat, which with Wills out injured is going to be crucial now. And that is going to be where we focus in the next episode. We also stopped Liverpool beating our best ever points total, which I like. There'll be a point behind it now. We're up to 3rd. 3 teams level on points. Spurs 1 behind. This is an opportunity. If we win 2 out of 3, I think we'll make it. So we'll target Norwich and Brighton. Let's have a look at the schedule though, because that's not going to be the focus for now. Whether we finish 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th is really far less important than whether we win the FA Cup and Champions League finals. We have not won the Champions League before. We have won the FA Cup once. We have lost every cup final for the last year and a half. I want to start putting it right. We'll be back for the big double header against Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. If you're looking forward to it, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of those 2 tense performances. Certainly not brilliant, but signs on the break. We've got our old form back in front of goal. If you want to stay up to date and see if we can end the cup final drought, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to just try and win one of them. I'll take one. If we could win the Champions League, it would be special though. Hopefully we'll be able to do so. Come and be the 12th man. Between now and then, note there's links to all the guides, other playlists and other stuff up in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel and a football podcast where we've got content galore too. Thank you very much for being here though. Your support is massively appreciated. And I'll see you back here in 2 days' time for two big finals against two massive opposition.